guys, and welcome to Adapted. My name's Tristan. We've got Jason and Sweener on this week. How you guys doing?
Staying cool, brother, man.
Stay
Staying
cool.
cool.
Doing good. I like that you guys have to deal with this heat. Makes me happy. It makes me feel like we're all on the same page now when I have my 900-degree light on.
I'm going dark, dude, to try to save the extra.
I noticed that. Yeah, you have no lights on, dude.
Nothing, dude.
Do you have a rag to like clean up the sweat? Your sweat rag? I remember you had one last year. You had a towel on you last year. There we go.
Got the towel.
You guys remember that, dude? He had it around his neck. That was great.
And in case I need it, I got the American bandana.
And just like 3 milk jugs just filled with water.
Well, it's an interesting week as a new show debuted on Netflix last week and got some attention. And as we all know, this podcast is adapted. We normally touch on things adapted. There's some gray area though, and this might be one of those shows that reaches the gray area, as it definitely draws a lot of inspiration from many properties from the 80s, some of the 90s, mostly 80s. And we're going to talk about the first episode of Stranger Things, which is the first episode, Chapter 1, The Vanishing of Will Byers. Did you guys really hear much about this show before you watched it?
They didn't do a lot of promo on it.
Yeah, dude, I didn't hear about this show until you said, hey, we're going to cover it for Adapted. Better watch an episode. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, there was like one trailer a month ago or so that came out.
Right.
And watching the show versus the trailer, like, the trailer was awesome, and I was like, I'm all in because it had that 80s vibe to it. But it didn't go into all of the supernatural stuff that this show goes into at all in that trailer.
It definitely kept a lot of mystery in there. Like, we weren't totally sure what was going on in the show. You just knew the basis that, oh yeah, there's a missing kid. You know when Winona Ryder was involved. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, it didn't show any like creature action or anything like that. Like, it was straight up, like, I thought it was like kind of like a sci-fi mystery show going in with, like, you know, kids on bikes. I was like all in. It's like, you know, Goonies and Monster Squad.
Total like Goonies, dude.
Yeah, definitely reminded me of Goonies with kids. I mean, you can touch on many things. E.T. it reminds me of, with the guys in the containment suits that you saw in the first episode. Yeah. It's got a very John Carpenter type vibe.
The music, for sure.
Yeah. The music, yeah. Just the logo kind of looks like something out of a Stephen King book, movie, whatever.
Oh, that logo. Every time it comes on, I'm like, oh my god, I love that logo. It's like it's just so perfect. The font, the way the letters are highlighted, it's so great.
And yeah, it's a show set in the 80s, and which is why it resembles a lot of the things we love from the 80s. Group of kids playing a little D&D in the basement.
So good.
Which was just a great scene to set up this first episode with the kids, and you kind of learn a little bit more about the kids. And Mike is the ringleader of some sort, and he's just putting on a show for his friends.
I did like all their references to the Lord of the Rings and their secret roads and their own little neighborhoods that they made. I'm not gonna lie, man. In this first episode, first 15 minutes, let's put it out there, dude. The only way I do horror movies is at noon, all right? Sometimes 2 o'clock when the fucking sun is at the highest above me, and I don't really got to worry about shit. But I checked this out last night, man, and that opening scene, dude, where it kept, like, panning and panning. He's waiting for the elevator. I'm like, oh, shit, dude, this guy's going to get him. And then lo and behold, he gets him out of the top of the elevator, man. I was like, dude, I'm not going into my creepy-ass basement anytime soon.
Yeah, they introduced this lab where it seems something escaped the lab, and the scientists got it. And I love that elevator that they show in that first scene, too. How the doors open and close, or how it closes, really. And as we learn later in this episode, that creature, we don't really know too much about it, but we saw it from a distance. And it's seemed to have taken this Will Byers guy, this kid. And
I like how little Will Byers just happens to have a fucking 22 sitting out in there.
I was waiting to get to that because I knew you were gonna talk about the gun.
I was like, hey, bro, I understand what you're going through, man, but you don't need to try to fully load the magazine, dude. 5 or 6 in the clip doing let's go. Bait and move.
What is he, like 10 or 12? Yeah, like he's not going to know how to use that gun. That's funny.
Yeah, and he just vanishes. There's this weird electrical occurrences that happens with the lights on their bikes. That happens in his house and in that shed. And something linked to that monster that I'm sure we'll learn more about. But this first episode is basically like, all right, kid's missing, and now it's about the after effects with his mom and brother learning that, holy shit, our brother and son didn't come home last night, and calling around to his friend's house was pretty good. Like, oh yeah, well, so the mom doesn't sound like a total screw up. Like, oh yeah, I think I know where he might be. But
Yeah.
Dude, did Winona Ryder look fucking rough, dude?
Okay, we had that same conversation here as we were watching it, and I was just like, I don't know, she's supposed to look kind of like white trashy. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just how she was.
But is she supposed to look white trashy? Because she just looked beaten.
I think it's supposed to look like she had a hard life, which
yeah,
maybe
and I
Winona
thought she
Ryder.
was, like overacting some of it too, like just how she walked, like her posture was a lot different than I've ever seen her.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I didn't know. Like, but yeah, I've heard a bunch of people say is like Winona Ryder's gone to shit. Which I haven't seen her. I didn't even actually when I watched the trailer, I didn't realize that Winona Ryder was even in this thing. Like, I couldn't even tell that was her. So,
And it's not something she wouldn't normally do a show like this. I feel like this isn't really her.
I mean, what else does she kind of do?
Genre that
right?
she does. But yeah,
I mean, like, let's realistic. What was Winona Ryder's last big movie? Without any clickety-clack typing on the keyboard. Dude.
I could not tell you. It would have last thing I can remember her maybe in Mr. Deeds.
Beetlejuice.
Well,
Reality Bites. That's what I was going with.
most recently though, probably Mr. Deeds.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else has she been in? Yeah. So yeah, like I was surprised that she was in there, but damn, she is so good in this show. Like it's a perfectly cast character.
Yeah, I think there was like a lot of good little juicy details in the beginning of this. Like when the cop is walking through the neighborhood or walking through the woods and he's with the teacher and he's like, thanks for everything you do. And he goes, teacher's like, oh, how old is your kid? Maybe I'll have him. And he's like, oh, he lives in the city with his, the kid lives in the city with his mom. And then the other person comes up and he's like, oh, his kid died 3 years ago. So you're like, oh shit, dude, this guy's in a fucking dark place.
Well, yeah, and it makes sense. Like, just introducing the cop, Hopper. He wakes up in his house and he's drinking beer in the morning and taking pills and smoking a cigarette while brushing his teeth. He's definitely leading a rough life at this point. He rolls in, and for him to finally put on that badge, like, holy cow, that's the sheriff of this town.
All right.
And him to roll into his own station, like, however long it was, and to get some crap from Flo.
And then Flo, dude, we don't do meetings till like noon. Flo, get your shit together.
I did get a little chuckle when he was sitting there talking with the kid's mom, Winona Ryder, and he's like, 99 out of 100 times the kid is with like the other parent or another family member, and then she's like, well, what about the other one time? And he's like, what?
And in the trailer, they like focused on that one scene,
Mm-hmm.
and they made it like really suspenseful in the trailer. I felt like actually watching the episode, it wasn't as big of an effect.
No, that was a lot of the trailer. It wasn't like what you thought was going to be the impactful stuff was not at all what happened.
Right.
Which was, it was cool. It was good, and like Sweeney was saying, I really love the way they like throughout the whole season, even coming into like the last episodes, like they're still like doling out little nuggets of information about these characters and like just layers on top of layers, and oh, it was good. They started out really strong. That was a really strong first episode of a show.
Yeah, and I give those kids credit, because they reincorporated everything back to the Dungeons and Dragons, where they're like, where is he? They're like, he could have cast a shield or done a fireball. He chose fireball. He wouldn't just run away and hide. Yep. They're like,
so good.
Let's go and get him, like fucking Data from the Goonies, dude.
Those kids are so great.
I give them credit, dude. They're out there fucking riding their bikes in that fucking creepy ass place, dude. And they're like, we're going into the woods.
Yeah, those actors are really good for kid actors, especially the guy without his teeth. Can we talk about that guy for a second?
Yeah, I love that little guy, man.
He's my favorite kid there.
When
He's great. His shirts are great.
His Cleidocranial displays.
Yeah.
So what's up with his teeth? Does he really not have teeth in real life? I was really curious about that. Like, did they pull him for the show, or
they're still growing?
Yeah, or is it just lucky casting on that one?
It's his superpower.
Yeah, he was awesome. He was so good.
Yeah.
Dude, and then let's talk about fucking Mini Magneto, dude. What the fuck's up with that kid, dude? At first, I thought that was a little boy, dude.
Yeah, when he shows up.
Same.
Yeah.
Also, I watched the first episode twice, and then I was like, okay, they actually do segue, like, this Brenner guy who runs this lab. He's like, and the girl's missing, and then they show her later and off the restaurant and all that. But yeah, and this is another like nod to like the more sci-fi supernatural stuff with the telekinesis that we've seen in movies back in the 80s, and she's got the telekinesis.
Yeah, and she likes to eat. Just plowing down that
ice
food.
cream, dude.
So good. Yeah, like that guy, yeah, I forgot how that episode ended, but like, yeah, that was cool.
She kills 2 people at the back door and takes off. But
Okay,
then,
so yeah, that guy, they show those people. Okay, the cleaners show up. Like, that was cool as shit.
yeah, and then the
that
fucking,
Child Protective Services lady showing up and
yeah,
takes out the cook.
Didn't even blink, dude. She's just like pop, and I was like, what the fuck?
right.
These
That
people
just
are legit.
made me absolutely hate that lady because I like that cook.
Dude, yeah, I liked him too, man. I thought it was cool. And then next thing you know, fucking the Goonies are out running around in the fucking woods, dude, and fucking little Magneto shows up just like,
Are you seeing that kid in your dreams, Sweener? Just chasing you down through the woods?
Dude, I'm not kidding, dude. If I'm those kids, dude, I'm like, break. Everybody go a different direction.
Yeah, no
The
joke.
3 of us.
The kids were awesome, but the one kid that's in this group that like I felt like was kind of mean to everyone else, Lucas, kind of a jerk to everyone.
Yeah, Lucas is like, he's like kind of the dick of the group.
I guess so, yeah.
I don't know why, because yeah, I don't know why.
I was like, he's kind of a bully to them, and then they introduce these other bullies that are hassling them.
He's just like, yeah, he's just like different, I guess. He's a little hot. He gets worked up pretty easily, but...
And then, yeah, the episode ends with the boys meeting 11, and what's going to happen after that? Like, I mean, their best friend's missing, and then now they find this mysterious girl kind of close to the same area where Will somewhat disappeared since this fight was... So,
yeah.
Crazy things happen. Before we grade this episode, I do want to touch on the music, the intro theme, which is probably the best intro.
It's really good, man.
It's so good. Yeah, it's such a good... The way the music plays out through the episodes, it's really amazing, too. It's like, it's timed perfectly, and it kind of like lingers sometimes through a whole scene and then fades
It's
away.
very subtle, too. Like, the way they start playing it, and then like after a while, like, holy cow, this awesome song's playing from the 80s.
Yeah, totally. And I'm like, oh shit, they just played that 80s hit for 4 minutes. I didn't realize they were doing that. Like, it's just so cool. Yeah. Also, what about the Duffer Brothers, dude? The Duffer Brothers' names are in the credits like 9 times. I had no idea who they were before this started, but now, like, I didn't even have to. I'm just like, the Duffer Brothers, those guys are amazing, man.
So I looked into them before I watched the show.
They didn't do anything.
Well, they did that show on Fox, I think it was, with Matt Dillon in it, that sci-fi show with M. Night. That was recently. I can't think of the name of the show, of course. I thought they were attached to that, like they helped produce it or something.
Oh, the Wayward Pines show?
Yeah, Wayward Pines.
I think they helped write that. They were like writers on that, but like I
feel like that was their only credit.
Yeah, I was like,
remember that.
Yeah, for like as amazing this is and how much they put their names out there like they were important. I thought that was like super cool to me. I like that it was a guy, people I didn't know whose names are all over the place. And I was like, oh, these guys are just they're just badass, dude. That's balls move, dude. I like that. Total baller move.
And yeah, it's definitely takes a lot of inspiration from past creations, but it's definitely its own original thing with how they did it and how they're introducing these guys. It reminds you of a lot of things, but I feel like they're still creative enough as far like it's not just a total spoof of past things.
Yeah, it's not a total rip-off. It's definitely more of a homage than anything, an homage to the 80s, but it's cool. It's great. We scoring this thing?
Let's score it. Let's go around.
I'm gonna give the pilot a 5. I mean, that was probably, if that was a pilot episode, which usually the first one is.
Right.
I'm gonna say that was like one of the best first episodes to a series I've ever seen. Like, I was hooked, and yeah, like everything about it. The set design is immaculate. Like everything looks like the 80s. Even like when you see like a TV show on the background that you can tell was not from the 80s. Like all the graphics for like the news and the commercials, everything is just like perfect. Like I couldn't find one thing that didn't feel like it was in the 80s. That was fuck, dude. 5 all
Like
the way.
even Mike's sister, that you could tell like they used to be really close and now they're kind of growing apart because she's getting older. Like that was like a total 80s movie thing where the brother and sister don't get along.
Talk about his little slutty, super smart
Nancy,
sister.
the rebel.
Just wanting to get laid, dude. What a trampy little hoe for a 3.9 GPA.
Show.
Oh my god. And the names, dude, like all the names like Lucas and Mike, and there's a Barb later, like the names are just perfect. Karen,
Yeah,
it's like such everything about it.
That whole like interaction like with them in the kitchen when the mother was telling them that, or not in the kitchen, but in the dining room, and she was telling them they were like in lockdown, and she was like, "This is bullshit." The mother's like, "Watch your mouth." Dad's just basically sitting there reading the paper. That's so fucking 80s, dude. Jude's like, "Hey, don't make Ward get mad."
Yeah, so I'm gonna definitely go with a 5 on this one. What about you, Sweener?
You know what? My expectations for this weren't really high because I just popped it on last night and watched it. But the opening, I didn't really care for because I'm not really into that kind of like sci-fi like slasher stuff, aliens, fucking versus predator stuff. Because horror flicks aren't my thing. So at the beginning, like I sent out to everybody, I was like, "Man, is this how it's gonna be?" And then, dude, after we rolled the credits, man, it was a surprise. It was really, really good. It sucked me in. Had I not started it at 10 o'clock, I probably would have knocked out a couple more episodes. So. Yeah, man, it's the nod to the 80s, the nostalgia, all that, solid storyline. I'm probably going to go with a 5 myself, too.
Nice.
I have to go with 5 as well, as everything that we already mentioned, but even somebody we didn't even touch on, the science teacher, another great addition to the show. Pretty lovable character there. And
super cool character.
Just his entire conversation with the kids, it's like perfect.
Yeah. Can it go to Florida? Further. Australia?
I love that when they were talking as if they're talking to the Australians too.
Oh.
If they're
I did love
Australian
when they were
accents.
talking back and forth on their mics. Over.
Oh yeah, they have some good. They have really good walkie-talkie etiquette for sure.
Yeah, so we will continue following Stranger Things. All the episodes are available already on Netflix. We touched on one episode this week. We're gonna do 2 episodes a week, and then the season finale we'll do 1 episode there. So episodes 2 and 3 will be coming next week. So watch it up, or binge on it all, and just tune in every week to adapt it as we'll cover it. Closing out pretty soon on Preacher. We're on episode 8, only 2 episodes left after this, El Valero. And I think Spinner's got a special intro for Preacher, right?
It was a preacher's son.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Better next week. Right, everyone?
Yeah. Keep practicing. Yeah, and maybe I was starting to believe that actually happened, but Eugene was back for a little bit, and then they did the big reveal, like, well, maybe not.
He's mental, dude.
Yeah, he's a little crazy.
He's lost it.
And when Eugene was explaining his experience in hell, for some reason it brought me back to the second Bill and Ted movie when they were in hell and how they were being tricked and all the games they had to play. Like his recounting of that.
Yeah.
This reminds me of Bill and Ted.
That's funny. I wonder if the Bill and Ted was the inspiration.
I don't know.
Like, I truly got, for lack of a better word, outsmarted by the beginning of this show with Eugene, because I was like, redemption is here.
Yeah, I didn't think he was crazy at that point, and they're like, oh yeah, well maybe he went a little crazy.
Yeah, I mean, did we really think that he came back?
Thought it was a little too easy.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But yeah, it was definitely a nice twist, and especially having you learn a little bit more about the Kincannon family on how Odin came to power as his entire family, which really threw me off too, because it's like, is this a commercial right now? Because
Right, like for
totally different look to
fucking
the show because they
Spearmint
were
gum or
male.
something.
Yeah, and his entire family gets it.
And at first, did you not think fucking Quincannon is somehow?
I really thought he was behind it, but it turned out he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I thought that this was really, really overall a really good episode, man. We learned about Quincannon. Dude,
And why Kincannon just doesn't trust God and why he like denounced
right.
him, why he has it up for that land. Like he just wants to tear it down because everything he loved and everything was just ripped from him.
Right. The other thing that was awesome was, dude, is they show you these tidbits of the show 3 or 4 episodes back, and then you're like, oh, what's going on? Like when Preacher was there with his dad and he comes out of Quincannon's office and Quincannon's yelling at him, you're just like, what the fuck? And then in today's episode, or this week's episode, we see why Quincannon was, because Preacher's father was there consoling him about the loss of his entire family, dude. I just think it's brilliant how they work all that stuff back around, So it keeps you on your toes and you've got to constantly be watching the show.
That scene with all the caskets and then the cows too, and he was just holding up the guts of
the
both.
Intestines?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was messed up. That was disgusting.
I know. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
And yeah, I mean, they were going to battle. I was a little surprised of how well the Preacher Jesse handled himself against the first onslaught. He was just taking him out. I was like, is there something else helping him, or what was going on?
When that guy came walking back, and he said he shot his dick off, dude.
Dude, why was that guy walking like it was no big deal?
I know, like you can only be.
He was just holding it.
Yeah, he was just like, I'm good. Dick just got shot off.
It took King Can to be like, maybe we should call an ambulance for whatever his name was.
Don't want to decrease the morale of the guys, dude. And what is the guy's? Why can't I think of his name? The guy who was dressed up in the fucking Civil War outfit.
Oh, with the one arm. I can't think of his name either. But dude, he threw me off too when he was going in the trunk.
I thought he killed himself, dude.
Why did he just blow his head off? But then you learn, oh, he's not dead. He's just outsmarting the Preacher and blew out his eardrums entirely.
Yeah, I do. And then all of a sudden, when Preacher was sitting there after he survived the onslaught, and I'm like, and then I see him walking up behind him to get the drop on him. I'm like, dude, is he like an evil fucking angel or something now, or what, dude?
That's what I thought. He was doing that angel thing too. I thought he killed himself and then he was coming back and he was gonna be like stronger or something. I was very confused.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he's like,
I was a little disappointed by the usage of the angels in this episode.
I did like
they came in and I was like, yeah, they captured it and then they escaped again. They're like, oh, let's just leave. We're done.
Yeah, I guess they could have used a little bit more of. I don't know. I felt like it did the trick.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but I felt like there was something missing there.
Yeah.
I think that they're resolved to the fact that they're not going to be able to catch it by themselves. Like, unfortunately, dude, like you fucked something up at home while mom and dad were gone. You thought you could clean it up and get away with it, but you realized you just didn't super glue that statue back together right. You're gonna have to fess up and call in some help, dude. Which I think that's what we're going to see next.
You think we'll get some explanation of why Genesis is so drawn to Jesse?
I think that's what they got to try to figure out right now. The angels, like
there's something there that they haven't explained of why the Genesis thing is so obsessed with them.
I suppose they have to do it. And
why he doesn't blow them up.
Yeah, I guess I would hope. I don't know. I kind of hope they don't, but I guess you have to. At some point, right? It's like that's what this is all leading up to. So yeah, I guess you have to.
Dude, and how was it like Tulip goes to the fucking pound, gets herself a dog that she falls in love with, and then obviously feeds it to Cassidy, man. So we know that Jesse had to have let Cassidy just fucking burn.
Right. He definitely did that. And then Tulip took his remains and just waited, I guess. I felt like she was just like playing emotional games with herself by becoming attached to the dog and just like taking it away from her, like as weird. It was like punishment on herself.
But I believe that I did call it last week when I said he didn't put him out.
I think you did say that. Yeah, you did say that.
Yep.
Give me that one.
Anything else we're missing? Oh yeah, and then Preacher got arrested.
Yeah, and like we never found out like what the sheriff was gonna say about not having Arseface there.
Right. Yeah, I was a little confused why he didn't ask him more about that, because at one point he was like, "Hey, he's here," and then nothing really about it further.
I will say that.
Yeah, that's true. That is weird.
Right. I will say that when everybody else retreated, that dude like was running towards them like with a musket and yelling "food court, food court."
The food court part was so great. And Cannon explaining like, "Hey, we can get you this all these foods of around the world," and like, "Oh, like a food court."
He's like, "What's that?"
As if it doesn't exist down there in Texas.
Yeah, like, it's a weird spit on what like era it is again or something, I guess.
Dude, and here's my other thing. What do we think the small flashes to the overloaded power systems is? Because this is like the third time we've seen that dude fix that thing.
Too much power for Jesse, maybe?
I have no idea. That was another confusing thing that they just like threw in there in the middle of a scene. And then
and they've done it like a couple of times, you know?
Another weird mystery that I don't quite understand. But that guy seems on top of it.
That's his only job. He just sits in that chair and pushes that button every once in a while, I guess. You gotta be on top of that. I feel like they keep trying to throw these little teases in, but they don't ever go as big as I would anticipate them going. Like, this is probably not going to be anything that's going to blow my mind, which sucks because I want them to be bigger, I guess, than they are.
And I think that the thing that really has made me love this show as much as I have is a lot of it's because of the comedy and stuff like that. It was a little darker of an episode, but Quincannon, dude, when he was like, sunscreen and sandwiches, boys, we're going to be here for a while. And when he's talking about making a daylight assault over open ground. Some of you with hand-to-hand weapons are going to feel like you're human shields. Well, you are, so...
He is such a great character. Yeah. And then he's just sitting there eating his sandwich.
Yeah, and he's like, so what I'm saying is drink lots of water.
Yeah, that guy.
She brought him the sandwich. He's like, is there mustard?
Yeah, he's great.
All right, scoring this episode, what are you guys going to go with?
I'll give it a 4. That was pretty cool. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 4 too. I mean, we learned some good backstory. I mean, that's the one thing is I feel like every episode we've always learned one good, intriguing piece of information. We found out about Quincannon's family. Dude, we also forgot to mention of why Quincannon essentially rendered Jesse powerless, dude. Because Jesse said, you will serve God. And so he thought he was good to go. Well, come to find out, in Quincannon's mind, he was serving God. He was serving the God of meat.
Pretty great stuff.
So I'm with a 4 as well. I thought it was overall a pretty great episode. Lots of great stuff. 2 episodes left to go, man. I'm pretty stoked for what's about to come.
I'm right there with you guys. I'm at a 4 as well. This episode promised some action, and it delivered on that, I feel. And the comedy was there, as it's been this entire series so far. weird supernatural stuff is in there as well to pique my interest as far as like what the heck. Like there's so many unexplained answers that I'm looking forward to get answered, or maybe they'll never get answered, or maybe wait till next season. One way or another, we'll get something good, I'm sure. All right. Last weekend was Star Wars celebration over in Europe. Just a yearly celebration of all things Star Wars, and the Star Wars universe has gotten so bigger in these past couple of years as we know the episode movies. We're in episode 8 next year is coming out. Rogue One, the first movie that's coming out that's not really, it's in the timeline, but it's really doing its own thing. And that's the first thing I want to touch on. Rogue One, a Star Wars story. They're still talking about it, and they talked about it heavily at Star Wars Celebration. The whole opening crawl is a big Star Wars thing, and as of right now, it doesn't sound like they're going to do it for this movie. Is that a good or bad move?
That makes absolutely no sense.
Like they're not what?
They're not going to have the opening crawl like all Star Wars movies.
Oh,
yeah, with the word.
They do that in not even just the movies. They do it in like the comic books. They do it in every video game. It's like a Star Wars thing. Like you have to do it. They're going to do it. They're not going to skip it. There's no way.
I feel like they should.
That when you go to see Star Wars, dude, it's like
you want the music to keep
once that
with the
cues
words.
up, and once it starts going on the screen, like that gets you in the mood.
It takes you into that. It like completely takes you into that world and sets everything up.
That is your hype, dude. That's just like, I don't know, man. Dude, it's like hearing the national anthem at the beginning of a baseball game or something. Dude. With your corn dog.
Yeah, perfect analogy. Yeah.
You know, It's just like, man, you're like, dude. It's just like once you hear that, you're just like totally jacked. You're psyched, man. You're in like that Star Wars frame of mind, dude.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like the most perfect movie score ever in the history of all movies. Like that's like his triumph, dude.
Yeah, that's really strange. I didn't hear that they weren't going to do that. That actually annoys me. It makes me question what they're doing here.
Well, yeah, and they showed a little bit more of the movie in a form of a trailer that kind of worked as like a featurette, wasn't a true trailer, and just like showed it. They interviewed some people of the crew and the cast, just basically like what this movie means to them for what they're making. Like, and this movie is very odd as far as like, okay, should they just do the same old Star Wars thing, or should they just do entirely different to make a name for themselves? Like, it's going to be difficult as far as what they end up doing, and we'll find out soon enough in December what this movie is going to be.
I mean, every the trailers, the only trailer we have, the teaser, I mean, it paints a picture of a Star Wars movie. Like, everything you've seen, it looks like a Star Wars movie. Like them saying, "Oh, we're not doing." It's like you're doing a Star Wars movie. Like it's going to feel like a Star Wars movie, no matter what happens.
Just a different cast of characters for the most part. Yeah. They still have like Mon Mothma that ties in, and I'm sure there's going to be like Vader's going to be there, so there's gonna be plenty of tie-ins to the Star Wars universe.
You got all the Stormtrooper battles. It's just like we get to see a different side of the universe, which is totally awesome. It's just like
those beach scenes and the Stormtroopers, those like beach troopers or whatever they want to call them.
Where they're like run. I was like, are they going to slow motion and just start frolicking?
Yeah, like in their shorts.
I thought it was pretty great of how like just a different form of a Stormtrooper, and just seeing them on a beach is just something different that you haven't really seen.
The best thing, that movie poster on the beach is just
movie poster is pretty great.
So good.
With the Death Star above.
Yeah, I can't wait to play those in Star Wars Battlefront. I think that map is going to be in there.
Yeah, that is going to be in Battlefront that you guys talked about live on the app this week.
Yeah.
On Twitch.tv.
Oh yeah, that was the one thing I actually covered from the Star Wars thing. We got that on there.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, everything that we've seen from Rogue One, they even throw in Jane Erso says, "May the Force be with you," also in this trailer, which another connection that, of course, they're going to have it in there because it's an important thing.
I was bummed because we'd been hearing for a while that we were going to get or at least you told us last week, I think, we were going to get a new trailer. So I went to Ghostbusters thinking, I'm getting my new trailer.
Right.
And there was the Rogue One trailer, and it was not new.
Yep. Well, they released this featurette, and my understanding is there was another trailer at the Star Wars Celebration that they showed. There's some bad leaks out there if you want to watch choppy footage.
Fuck, I'm going down that rabbit hole.
Because Vader shows up at the end of that trailer, so if you want to see that, they saved that for the people there.
Well, like from what I remember, dude, from watching that little clip, those are just like regular stormtroopers, just like wading through the water. They're not like a unique stormtrooper.
There was a different kind with a different helmet. It's like a flatter helmet, not flatter, but
it's the summer helmet.
It's different shapes of the helmet.
Yeah, there is. In the teaser, I think you can see them too a little bit.
Right.
So.
They show the regular ones on land, but I think they like.
You have to have like different suits, right? There has to be an amphibious one. There has to be all sorts of them. It's just
yeah, I mean, I think there's different suits for like what their different responsibilities are.
Right.
Yeah. So, what else we get? We heard something about Han Solo, right?
Yeah, they officially introduced the actor playing Han Solo, Alden Ehrenreich. I don't know how to say his German.
Let's call him Alden.
But yeah, they brought him on stage and officially confirmed, because we talked about it already in the news here, that he's going to be Han Solo. Even more interesting that not really Star Wars related, but now they're saying that maybe he could potentially take over for Harrison Ford for Indiana Jones too, which I find kind of weird.
Why?
That you just replace him and everything.
Yeah, that is really weird. It's like, here is you are the new Harrison Ford. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Here's all these old movies.
Right. Harrison Ford Jr.
That is really weird. I'm not sold on this guy being a good Han Solo from the pictures. He looks like brooding, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Han Solo, like every one of his photos, he's like mean mugging, and I don't never equate Harrison Ford with mean mugging. So.
Right.
I think we have to hear more about this movie as what it's going to be like. Phil Lord and Chris Miller are involved in the movie, I believe. I think they're in this, and so that's always a good thing because I'm a big fan.
Yeah, that's a positive. I mean, you got one thing going.
But yeah, it's very small details. We don't even know the name of the movie. Now it's just a Han Solo movie. That's all it really is at this point. But I'm sure they'll come up with a name. They didn't release a title for Episode 8 yet either, which we still have a little under a year and a half, so I think there's still time to officially release that. Not sure when they would release it, but I'm sure we'll.
You don't show a trailer for a Star Wars movie in front of a Star Wars movie, do you? Maybe they do that.
I don't know. I mean, they've never been in this
meta.
position before, but if they are following what they did with Episode 7, they had a trailer a year before the movie. It was a short teaser trailer, but I remember that first minute teaser where they did the voiceover and they showed Finn in the trooper outfit in the sand.
Right. And then going.
Yeah, but that was like right before Christmas time. I remember of the year before the movie came out, so it's possible it comes out. The only real details that they released, which wasn't much. What did they release? They released that they don't have a title yet. They announced that, and they said Finn will indeed be in it, and he won't be in a coma the entire time, which also is good. And Rian Johnson, the director, said he's been watching a bunch of movies that he's using as inspiration or influence for Episode 8.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of movies I'd never heard of. 12 O'Clock High, Bridge on the River Kwai.
Bridge over the River Kwai is the original Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. That was his claim to fame, dude.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I can't remember what his name is in real life.
And 3 Outlaw Samurai was another one that he's using as inspiration for Episode 8.
Maybe he should use The Force Awakens as his inspiration.
And they did confirm that for the first time ever, an episode's going to pick up right after, as we already knew, right after the last movie. Episode 8 is going to pick up right after Episode 7 left. Normally there's a time gap in there somewhere. But yeah, it's going to continue with Rey and Luke and them meeting. So
interesting.
Some very small details. They also mentioned that the director of Rogue One, Gareth Edwards, is going to make a fun cameo in this So we'll see what happens there.
Unless we have a Jedi Ewok, and he is that Jedi Ewok, I don't care if he's in it.
And they just said that the characters that they introduced in episode 7, like Rey, Finn, and Poe, they're going to go a little deeper in those characters. So we'll learn a little bit more about them and just focus on them heavily. So,
all right,
I
can get behind that.
A show we've been following on Adapted, Star Wars Rebels. Kind of
kids
a huge
show?
announcement. Yeah,
just got a lot fucking awesomer.
And this show's kind of doing a time jump. Everyone's older now. Ezra is no longer a little kid anymore.
Put on some age.
Yeah.
Kanan's still blind.
Kanan has a crazy mask because he's blind now. It's kind of cool. I like it.
They fixed the animation yet?
Still same style. But the big, huge reveal that they showed in this trailer for Star Wars Rebels, a character that was no longer part of canon, that was part of the books, Grand Admiral Thrawn, is going to be canon again, as he's going to be used in Season 3 of Star Wars Rebels.
I mean, we have to be honest with ourselves. Like, Grand Admiral Thrawn was the biggest canon person that wasn't in a movie out there. He was the most popular. He was the biggest name. He's like the most badassery guy out there. And this is big news, and this follows on the heels that we're getting a new Thrawn book coming back out that's going to take place between Heir to the Empire, which is a great series. I just finished Heir to the Empire not too long ago. And it's going to be delved right into the beginning. The book will take place right into the beginning of Star Wars Rebels Season 3. And then Zahn's book will then continue on through Rebels. So that's pretty fucking awesome, man.
And this is all going to be canon now, as
they
basically threw all his other books in the garbage.
Well, I don't know how.
I don't know that you would say they were going to throw them in the garbage, because more and more out of the canon, the non-canon, bits and pieces of that stuff is coming into the movies. You know?
Interesting. Oh my god! So this addition to the cartoon is like your fucking dream come true.
This is
You've been
it.
talking about those books.
And we know I've been talking about Grand Admiral Thrawn. I told everybody to go out and get the trilogy, dude. Listen to it on an audiobook. It's great. I mean, that's how I read the first one, and then I listened to the audiobook.
We should make like a bootleg audiobook where you read the book and we just like give it to our listeners.
Dude, but the thing is, with the audiobook, you have to get this very special limited edition version, the 20th anniversary, because it's a bunch of different people doing different voices and stuff like that. So it's really pretty good.
All
right. Some other cool things in this trailer. They talked about a couple people from the Empire that were defecting to the Rebels, and they mentioned Wedge and Teles, who, of course, we knew him from the movies as a good friend of Luke.
Yeah.
And you see him here. They show a lot of Mandalorians, which will be interesting. They show the Darksaber that we've previously seen in the Clone Wars. A whole lot of crazy stuff in this trailer.
This is going to be awesome, dude. We've got Maul in there, like
more Darth Maul.
With Kanan, or not Kanan, but with Ezra.
Right.
Kanan. I think it's going to be a pretty fucking.
Every time I see Kanan and they're focusing on his blindness, I then think like, oh, maybe Kanan is the guy in the Rogue One trailer where the guy's fighting with a stick and he's blind. You can tell that he's blind, but I don't think it's going to be the same guy. Because according to IMDb, it's a different character name, but we'll see. Maybe there's some link there. So.
And he's Asian.
Right, that too. Star Wars Rebels Season 3 coming out this fall and should be a good time.
We gonna cover it?
If you watch it. Are you gonna watch it?
I'll catch up, dude.
I'll
catch up for you
guys.
Show. I mean, it is, but I'll watch it.
It is and it isn't.
It's the episodes that I've watched have been pretty terrible, but then
dude,
the next week you guys
Whales episode, dude.
Yeah,
that
was
was all rated a 1.
But yeah, I know. But then the next week you're like, it's a 5, and then I'm like, all right, I'll watch the next one, and it's like fucking Space Whales Part 2 or something. And I'm like, dude, you guys are like, it's a 2.
The season finale was pretty solid.
All right, maybe I'll just watch that.
season finale was fantastic.
Needs
If you
more.
watch the last couple episodes, it was really good.
All right.
That's about it for the Star Wars celebration. Not a huge, as far as not that big announcements. Besides, I feel like Star Wars Rebels was probably the biggest thing, announcing Grand Admiral Thrawn was going to be involved in the universe once again. I'm thinking next year's going to be even bigger because they're coming off Rogue One. They'll be a little further than Han Solo. I'd imagine maybe they would have a title for Han Solo at that point and get some details of what that movie is really going to be like.
Some more video game news.
And they'll be even closer to Episode 8.
True.
What about video game news?
Maybe they can announce more video game news.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting for that Uncharted style Star Wars game. Like, that's my number one, man.
Yeah, they didn't touch on that at all at Star Wars Celebration.
They showed some new Battlefront stuff, but it was
just Battlefront DLC stuff.
Maybe Sweeter will open his someday.
Right? Maybe I'll crack it. All right, Jason, roll our theme song. Da-da-da.
It's the Flintstones. Are we doing that? I feel like this would actually be like
the Flintstones.
Like
oh yabba dabba do time.
So we talked about last week. Flintstones number 1 came out, and we all read it, and we're gonna talk a little Flintstones number 1 now. A new look at Bedrock.
What have I done to this show? I'm sorry, guys. I thought this was really cool. Like, I'm curious to see what you guys thought, because I know
this was an eye-opening comic for me. I liked the twist. I thought that, like, the opening couple pages were pretty cool, where they had like the homage to the selfie with like a camera and the bird, old school, and all that stuff. I don't know how I feel about like super jacked Fred and Barney,
and him being a war hero and everything was kind of
it's like whole new Fred Flintstone. Like
and Mr. Slate is like
he's even more over the top.
A sadistic bastard, I guess, is for
he's
lack.
Kind of like Lex Luthor suddenly.
Yeah, he's kind of like this crazy, like megalomaniac, bad guy, playboy. Like,
yeah, like he's like an evil Tony Stark, dude.
Basically, sending that dude to his death, if I remember.
Yeah,
correctly.
like
who's now in the museum that they opened up with and ended with too.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was a really little clever little thing, like the way they pulled that off. I don't know. I liked to see them mix the new with the old, and I thought it was cool. Like the turtle with the ice cream was pretty great.
Dude, you know what I thought was great was when he was boxing, when they went to the boxing match, and he beats the guy, and the guy that he beat is laying on the mat, and there's pterodactyls eating him in the background.
So a few things threw me off in this comic. I didn't understand when Betty was painting her hand painting, the animals were talking, which kind of threw me off.
The what?
The animals that were like
by her side. But they always, I think they kind of always talk to him, even in the comics.
Huh. I guess it's been a while since I did anything with Flintstones. I used to be a Flintstones fan as a kid. I had all their toys and everything. And then when they had a vaping thing in there, I really disliked it.
Yeah, that was like really weird. I thought there was some weird stuff and some brilliant stuff. Like when they went to, what was the ripoff of the restaurant that they went to?
Shit.
Dang it.
I should have reread it. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I know. And Slade yelled at him for taking him there.
Oh, Outback Snakehouse.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty. Outback Snakehouse, that's pretty terrible. But I mean,
I thought, and like when you saw the pictures, like at the beginning, where you saw what Bedrock looked like, there was like the Starbucks. There was, instead of Target, it was Tar Pit and all that stuff. I thought it was really pretty clever.
Oh yeah, that stuff's all great. I also love that Bedrock is this little encapsulated. It's the only civilized world that you know of, right? Like, so you have these guys coming in there. But what else is out there? Like, what happened with this war? There's like...
Well, yeah, they took the land, and that's how they created this society.
And they have the only, like, functioning society in the entire world right now? It's really strange.
In just a small pocket, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I had just assumed that there was other civilizations and stuff, but...
I think with those guys coming in and the fact that they said they like won this war, I think someone got really smart here in Bedrock and built this weird society up.
When they do show off, like the cavemen are out there also, where there's just a few of them in town, but they definitely don't hang out around there typically.
Right. I also really like the whole part about when they were like talking, and he's like, "Oh, why do you wear that tie?" And he's like, "Because I was told, dress for the position you want instead of the one you're in," or whatever. He's like, "How long have you been wearing it for?" He's like, 15 years. And the other thing I thought was really funny was that they were using rams to break up the rocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, they had great throwbacks to. I guess maybe I was more excited about this because I had zero expectations. I didn't even understand what I was about to read. And then when you read it and it's like a complex look at society through the Flintstones' eyes, it's really strange and surprising.
Who was Barney's wife?
Wilma. Oh wait,
Betty. Right.
Yeah. I said Betty before, but
kind of conceited, man. Like when she's like, "I know I look great in this dress."
Yeah, she was a little pompous, that didn't really
kind of threw me off a little bit.
I mean, I guess all these characters are a little different than
over the edge and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like with Wilma being a artist and everything, I felt like that was a little weird.
I thought it did a good job of coming back to why the handprints were so important to her.
Yeah, once that finally happened, it made more sense. But her painting being accepted into that art gallery very quickly was a little strange, and then being like shunned off to the outside art gallery or whatever. But
maybe some people maybe she screwed some people over before, somebody didn't like her or something, and that's just something we'll learn down the line or something like that.
We didn't really get a whole lot out of Barney in this.
Yeah. He was just there for the fights. I feel like we got just as much fill-up as we did Barney.
Yeah, I wonder if they're saving that for the next episode or the next issue, or if we're just never going to... Barney's just going to be, like, in the background.
Yeah. And it was kind of weird that maybe... I don't know if they have the kids yet, but they didn't touch on...
Oh, yeah, they didn't touch on the kids at all, really, outside of...
But when you look at the first couple pages, they have the pictures of...
Yeah, on the cover, they show Pebbles.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like the kids are way older than when I remember them being in... Well, I mean, there's quite a few Flintstones, you know, there's like... Yeah.
You always... when I was reading, I just kept thinking of the movie with John Goodman.
Oh, God, that was an atrocity.
Wait, I like that movie.
It wasn't terrible. It was good for its time. And they have B-52s in that movie, so that's awesome.
I would not have pegged you for a B-52s fan.
Love Shack, baby.
Dude, he's a rock lobster all the way.
I think Chad had that on cassette, the Flintstones tape, the soundtrack.
I probably did, too.
I'm pretty sure he did. We'll ask him.
I think that's why I actually like the B-52s, is because of the Flintstones movie, most likely.
I could see that.
Because I don't know how old I was when they came out, but it's pretty young when the movie came out.
I'm going to keep reading this, if we're going to score it. Yeah, I'm going to definitely keep reading it.
What are you going to score it?
I'm going to give it a 4, because I thought it was awesome that they were able to make the Flintstones interesting in this day and age. Whereas, like, Archie comics, I feel like if someone were like, go read an Archie comic, I'd be like, no. And then I would do it, and I'd be like,
the new Archie series is actually supposed to be really good, though.
I'd be like, this is just as garbage as I anticipated. Just like the look of it looks the same. Like, it looks like Archie. This, like, had a cool look to it, at least.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to give it a 4. And I actually can't wait to read the next one. I'm pretty excited to read issue 2 and see where all this goes and if it's going to be worth my time long term. But it's nice to read something that's not superheroes for once. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, you know, I thought... I mean, when I looked at it a little bit last time when we were talking about it, and then I went into it, I thought it was going to be a new twist. And you know what? Overall, I'll give it a 4. It was refreshing. Mr. Slate being a sadistic son of a bitch is interesting. I like how they're doing the whole story arc through the museum and everything like that. I hope we get some more Barney and the rest of the gang, you know. Dude, most importantly, I hope we get a lot of... What was the dog's name?
Dino?
Dino.
Dino?
Yeah, we need more Dino.
I agree. I want to see what he looks like. He's probably a fucking raptor.
Dude, there was a little when they were in the hot tub. There was a picture of there was a little statue of a little raptor sitting in there.
I'm pretty sure Slate was his couch was a sloth, but I couldn't be totally sure what he was sitting on.
No, that totally did look like a sloth or a mammoth or something weird.
Yeah,
probably a sloth. I think you're right. It was just like laying and sleeping.
I'm gonna go with a 3 for this first issue. I didn't dislike it, and I just didn't love it. For Flintstones, I was expecting a little bit more comedy from it. I didn't really get too much of that.
Yeah. See, I was glad there wasn't so much comedy because I was like, because I would assume the Flintstones comedy would not be something I enjoy. Plus, we all know I hate comedy comics anyway. So
I thought that there was like a lot of subtle, funny things in there.
There was
like rams being used to break up the blocks, and one of them when he was like giving those dudes the hard hats that were really turtle shells. There was like a sign in the background that said like "Try not to die." I thought Philip was really pretty funny. There was like a poster that said "Soaring is never boring" in the back of it.
I feel like they made Fred into being like too good of a character, like Employee of the Month and a big war hero. Like he's almost perfect at this point.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah, they did actually make Fred seem like he was like the most badass of badasses. So that's
like really with how good he is, he should be having his own quarry instead of Slade. I don't know how Slade even ended up with that quarry, but
I don't know, Slade's a pimp, dude.
But yeah, I'll keep reading. It's an interesting comic. Curious about what happens next and just what they're going to explore next. So I'll keep reading. The big news that will be all this weekend is San Diego Comic-Con, and we'll be covering it to a degree as we'll be doing some recap videos of some of these great panels that they'll be doing, and a quick preview of just the barrage of things they're going to be showing. Wonder Woman is probably one of the bigger properties they're showing, at least on the DC side. Doctor Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 are going to be present. I'm probably most excited for those two guys. I'm curious about Wonder Woman. And there's just a mess of other movies that we're going to see more of and to fill our curiosity. More Power Rangers. They released an image of Power Rangers of their suits.
That's all I have to say about that, dude. Those
very
suits
alien-like suits.
Yeah, very like organic alien. I don't know, Battlestar Galactica villain-esque.
Cool. I'm not sure if they're going to do any Suicide Squad with the movie coming out so soon. I'm assuming they're going to do some advertising to some degree. They have to with it being so close.
I mean, I think my question is this, dude. Have we finally seen the oversaturation of comic book movies? And is this finally the kiss of death for them now that Will Arnett is going to be hosting like a 4-day special through Sci-Fi live at Comic-Con?
Well, he's got Lego Batman to show off also.
Yeah.
I did not know of the Sci-Fi special though.
Yeah, he's going to be hosting
pushing it
live interactive.
I'm not so sure how many people are going to be watching that, but
for 3 nights.
If you want to watch anything Comic-Con, tune in to allerton.com. Might be a little bit better than a Sci-Fi special, but just saying. I know if Chad was here, he'd be really amped for Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. I'm sure they'll be showing a little bit more of that.
Oh yeah.
They're going to go way deep on that movie and explore that even further. That whole Harry Potter universe is going to go even bigger. TV shows, on TV show side, Walking Dead's probably the biggest show that we'll see a new trailer from. We've got Luke Cage coming out later this year that I'm sure we'll probably see a trailer from. Covered it here on Adapted Man in the High Castle. Season 2 is coming out, and get something out of that.
So excited for that.
Fear the Walking Dead's coming back next month. I'm pretty sure they're doing a panel. And I'm just curious to see what the feedback is going to be like for Riverdale. They're going to be showing the first episode of Comic-Con. Just want to hear the reactions to see, because I'm generally curious about this show.
I'm super curious about that. That's Archie, right?
Yeah, it's Archie.
Yeah, but it's going to be like an edgy Archie.
Yeah, I don't know where they're going to go with it, but it'll be interesting.
It's gonna be shit. It's on the CW. It's gonna look like every other CW show. It's gonna have that like frosty lighting and the stupid glow, and it's gonna be fucking garbage.
Yeah. So that's about Comic-Con in a nutshell. Anything else you guys are excited? What are you guys expecting?
Guardians of the Galaxy. I want to see something on that movie. I want to see something more than a set shot. Like I want the goddamn trailer right now. That's pretty much it. Like that, I'm very curious about, and yeah, that's pretty much it, dude. I want to see some more Groot.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of want to see what's going on with. I saw the still for Kong, Skull Island. That looks pretty fucking badassery.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, and also I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more of Trolls, just simply because I love myself some JT.
Awesome. They keep talking about a Blade Runner sequel, so I don't know if we're gonna get how much detail we're gonna get of that, but Harrison Ford and Ryan Gosling are gonna be in that, so we'll see what happens. I keep seeing images from King Arthur. What's his name from Sons of Anarchy is in that. So, what was that, Sweeney?
I was like, oh man, dude, do they have to fucking murder another classic, man? Hollywood. Have a fucking original thought, you limey bitches.
For a half second there, I thought Tristan was mad at us. That's his go-to move. That was that was scary.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, seriously, come on, man.
Come on, man.
I hear you.
As someone who's seen like Blade Runner like 30 times, its magnificence is just brilliant, dude.
I don't care. Like, I want them to make a new Back to the Future. I want them to make a new Blade Runner. I want them to do I don't care. Any movie I enjoyed as a kid, I'm like all for them remaking it. I don't even mind. I just like to see it again. It's just neat.
Talking about remakes, Ghostbusters. Well, we haven't all seen Ghostbusters yet. We're going to be doing a talk back on that later this week, or possibly the weekend once we all do see it.
Awesome.
Interesting reactions this week on the internet,
yeah,
especially on Twitter.
This whole Twitter war going down and all this stuff.
Was it a war? It was just a bunch of assholes being assholes.
Yeah.
More so than a war. Just a bunch of people being racist cunts.
At least Twitter's actually banning people. That's a good move that they're finally doing something of many occurrences like this that have happened already. Hopefully they'll stay on top of it. But
it sucks because the movie is actually... Sweeter, you haven't seen it yet either, right? It's actually really good. It's really... Like, I've seen a lot of reactions on Facebook and social media and Twitter of people like that were shitting on the movie, but then when they actually saw it, they're like, you know what? It wasn't as bad. It didn't ruin my childhood. It wasn't as bad as I thought. And that cast is fucking perfect. Like, they work together so well. Plus, Kate McKinnon is just like a rock star in that movie. Like, there's no doubts that movie.
Well, that's what I was assuming before even seeing it, that Kate McKinnon is going to be good in it. So,
yeah, like the whole cast is like Leslie Jones is like, I mean, her comedic timing is just impeccable. It's just they just work well together. It's great. There's like some flaws. It's not a perfect movie, but fuck if it's not fun. It's better than Ghostbusters 2.
I mean, I guess it'll be tough for me to be like, God, do I want to go see Ghostbusters or would I rather go see Star Trek?
Ghostbusters. I love me some Star Trek, but I feel like this is going to be the Star Trek movie you're okay to miss.
You think so?
Yeah, it's not getting... It looks too, like... It's too action-packed. It's not enough, like... It doesn't seem smart enough to be a Star Trek movie, but I haven't seen it yet, so I can't say. Plus, Ghostbusters is good. It's really good.
Well, we'll have a talk back on Ghostbusters.
And stay for the end credit scene if you haven't had that spoiled yet. There's a little great ending at the post credits.
So stay for the credits.
Stay through all the way through they have like a credit roll and then stay through that all the way to the very end, like a Marvel movie. There's a really good scene at the end.
If it's some cheesy, shitty fucking Slimer outtake, dude, it won't be really.
I guarantee you it's not an outtake and it's totally worth your time.
Awesome. Going through some more news. The news is a little slow this time until Comic-Con hits, but a few casting things or character announcements that are going to be showing up on some shows that we watch. Mad Hatter is going to show up on season 3 of Gotham, and he's going to be played by nobody knows his name, but the guy that played the Wolf on The Walking Dead, the lead Wolf guy. So we'll see what happens with Mad Hatter. I'm still scared of Gotham season 3 with Fish Mooney, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Jesus.
And Supergirl news: Batwoman, and Oracle, who used to be Batgirl, is going to be appearing in the next season. Not totally sure if just their characters are going to be showing up or if they'll be full-blown Batwoman and Oracle. Curious to see what's going to happen. I don't think this would have happened on CBS, so maybe it's a good move that it's happening on CW.
Oh, you don't think that would have happened on CBS?
I'm not so sure, but we'll see.
Oh my God! How did somebody want me to see that? I totally saw that video today, dude. And I was completely fucking pissed about it. Sorry.
Awesome.
The video was somebody crashing into a car or something like that. Just easily hijack adapted.
And how do they know Sweeney watched it today? That's weird.
They just assume that's going to be a video that Sweeney would get excited about, watching a kid smash a $250,000 car's windshield with a skateboard.
I think it's because I did not realize that I was accidentally logged in on my Discus account, and I think I might have upvoted or made a comment on the Chive. Now then it came up as my actual name, and I'm like, I think I should probably change that name to Dirty Sanchez or some fucking thing like that. That is not going to let my non-hacker identity fucking get caught. I guess I can't let it be Big Rigger 2009 either, because that's back to that.
You gotta think of an original name.
I've already been tracked down. Damn you, internet!
And on that note, that's it for this episode of Adapted, episode 85. Join us next week as we talk more Stranger Things. We'll be talking episodes 2 and 3. Getting close to the end of Preacher. We'll be on episode 9. And we've got some San Diego Comic-Con news to cover next week, as we'll also have plenty of recap videos of all the panels also this weekend. And look for Ghostbusters talk back also. Don't miss Live on the Av every weekday on twitch.tv/AllertonAv. Subscribe and never miss a video again. You'll know when Jason and Chad go live. Earth was today. I was with Jason covering some news. So check it out. Give us some comments and let us know what you're thinking. Stay tuned for the block party right after. Stay on twitch.tv and enjoy the block party as we cover all things video games. Might have some Pokemon Go news to talk about.
Oh, fuck. All right, I like that. It's a good
see.
game, not fuck Pokemon Go. I'll take that back.
All right. For myself, Tristan, Jason, and Sweener, we'll catch you next week on Adapted. Did my video ever come back?